Hey Flosstube, Ashley here, Boogie Stitcher on YouTube, _Boogie Stitcher on Instagram, coming to you guys with a normal Flosstube update. So we do have some surprising stuff, not really surprising, but exciting stuff at the end of this video, so stay tuned if you want to hear about that. This is my second time recording this. The first time I recorded it with no mic on accident, so hopefully I don't miss anything when I do this update, but let's go ahead and just get started. First things first, we have our coffee Quaker. I don't have a picture printed of this one, so I'll go ahead and insert a picture of it right here. This one, holy cow, some of these motifs really are deceiving because you start doing the motif and you think, oh, I'm gonna get that done in like one sitting, it's totally okay, but then one motif ends up having like 600 stitches and you're like, what the heck? But gotten a lot done on this one. Well, I guess not a ton done on this one. Let me unroll it. So here is, so I did this one and these ones right here last time. This time I did this motif right here, which is kind of hard to see because the hoop is right on there. I already had the coffee cup done that I changed, and I'm on this motif right here, which is the bottom of the pattern. So I'm halfway done with this motif. It goes over here as well, the same pattern. Yeah, not looking too shabby. I think this time I stitched about, I don't know how, I think the other motif I did was like 300 stitches, so far I've stitched about 600 stitches on this one. And I plan on finishing this motif before I move on to something else. Oh, someone just... Alright, next up we have Beauty and the Beast. Oh no, I'm dropping everything. Okay, there we go. Beauty and the Beast. This one, so last time we spoke, I was working on her chest. I was working down here. I filled in a little bit more and a little bit more of her dress, but then I came back up here and started working on her hair. I started like filling in some of her hair. Not a lot done on her this last time. I think maybe about 100 stitches, and then I was done and not in the mood. Okay, next up we have Window Pane Girl, which is this girl. So this one I did her face in full cross, and I did part of the top left corner full cross, and then I decided no, because that's when I discovered 10 stitch. So I started working on the right corner doing 10 stitch, and it's really hard to see what I've actually done because it's stamped kit, but I worked in this corner doing 10 stitch. And so you can see, this is what I've done. So not a ton, again, maybe about 150 stitches or so on this one. Next up we have one of the new ones that I recently unboxed, and it's the elf girl on the unicorn. She's right here. And this one I did a little bit of a tree branch, and then I did her face, and I'm almost done with her face. Almost done. So right here is, that's about to fall off. Right here is a tree branch, and then here is her face. So again, stamp kits you want to hold away. So that's where I am so far. And this is stitch 10 stitch. And then there's close up. And there's like medium. So she's looking pretty good. I'm very happy with how her face has turned out. So I will continue with her. She's looking great. Next up, I believe this is a new start since my last video. I fell in love with Bellatrix by Bella Filipina, a pretty lady. I fell in love with her, and so I decided to go ahead and get another one. This is Mayari, Deity of the Moon. Or deity, I think, of the moon. Sorry. So there she is. And I started in the middle on this one, and then I'm slowly working my way up. I wanted to start at the top and do the like halo over her head, but I didn't have any of the Krennic. I finally got some of the Krennic in, but half of the colors are on back order. So I'm glad I started where I did. But I'm working this one on 28 count Zweigart even weave that I hand dyed myself. And I'm stitching 2/2 for everything but the skin, and the skin I'm stitching 1/1. So that's been interesting since I'm a beginner stitcher. But here is the fabric that I dyed for her, which turned out great. I like the way it turned out. And then here is my progress. So I started down here, which is like part of her dress. Here is like her hip-ish. And then up here is like her shoulder or her arm, elbow-ish is like right over here. And here's like working up towards her shoulder. And then here's part of her ponytail. So she is looking pretty good. Focus. There we go. I love her. I didn't think I would like working over 2. I've only done one other project working over 2 before doing these Pretty Ladies, and I love it. I love stitching over 2, and I'm stitching over 2 on the Coffee Quaker as well, and it's a lot of fun. It's harder, especially when you have like kiddos around, so I really have to pick and choose when I work on them, but yeah, she's a lot of fun. Next up, we have the cottage. I finally pulled it out and finally started working on it again. So I've just been trying to fill in the background. So I finally filled in all of this portion, which is like trees. I had a bunch, like all of this that I had to get filled in, and I finally filled it in. And now I'm just working my way this way to finish the sky, because it's all kind of the same color scheme, and then I'll work down and finish that way. So I have just this small section of the sky right here, and then I'll work down here, work along this, because they're all the same like color schemes. But this is it from far away. I'm almost done. This will be a finish this year. I will be. Quote me on that. So I have other cottages that I have in mind to start. So this has to be a finish, because I refuse to start another cottage until this one is done, which I'm surprised, because most of the time I'm like, I don't really care. But for some reason, the cottages, I only one at a time. All right, next up, backstory. So I talked a little bit about this in my unboxing video, this one. But this is my new fairy for my fairy cell. There we go. Here she is. And so, okay, so this is my new fairy. My last fairy, this might be a little redundant for whoever watches my unboxing videos, but you know, you can just skip ahead a little bit. So I had a custom made fairy created for myself 2 years ago, using Me and Cross Stitch Store on AliExpress. Normally I've had great luck with them, but for some reason this stamping was not very good, and I didn't know it, of course, until I went to pull it out and start working on it. And I know a lot now when it comes to unboxing things. You really need to look at the stamped kits right when you get them. So if something is wrong, you can send them back and say, hey, like the stamping isn't very good, please send me a new one. This one I just could not get past. So I had about 2,000 stitches done on my other fairy, and I was like, this is making me angry. Like I can't read some of the symbols. So I decided, nope, I'm UFOing it. So I have to move all of that floss into my stash, and I won't be working on that fairy, which is unfortunate because she's very pretty. But this is my new fairy for the fairy cell. Another little bit of thing is my hashtag is only working sometimes for some reason. So I need to figure out why, and I don't necessarily know how to figure that out. So I might change the hashtag to something else. I'm still thinking on what I want to do. But that is what this is, and I've made great progress on it so far. I have about 2,000 stitches done. And here she is. Looking pretty good. This is 10 stitch. And I'm loving the way it's working out. There we go. Okay, we will get through this video eventually. I might take like many days, but we will get through this video. Okay, next up we have Sleeping Beauty. And we are stitching this one with Shelly. And, ooh, sorry, bumped you. That's where we're at so far. So I came over here and started working on the background, and after doing some of her hair, and I'm about to, I'll do a little bit more background and then I'll move over here to like her hair some more. So there is that one. If I can get it back in the bag. And there goes the needle minder. Oh. Okay. Next up we have In This House. Emma just finished hers and it looks great. I have not gotten that far. I mean, I've gotten far, but not as far as her. Hers looking awesome. Or looks awesome. Okay, so this pattern calls for all black except for the Deathly Hallows symbol in the back of the background, in the back of the pattern. I have changed this to have a different color for every significant word. So I need to finish the back stitching for Dumbledore's Army. Gryffindor, Ravenclaw are both done. I think I need to finish like one spot of back stitching on Gryffindor, but this is the pattern so far. I think it's looking great. I'm loving working on it. I did have to pull out Dumbledore several different times until I figured out what type of pattern I wanted to do, but once I got that done, I think I figured it out, so we're good. Next up, we have Ravenclaw, speaking of Harry Potter. And this one, I finally finished all of the background of the hanging draperies. So that's where we're at so far. The background brickwork right here is not done, but it did do the raven and the Ravenclaw word. And there's the back. This one I am doing in full cross. And I will continue to do it in full cross, I think. I don't know if I'm going to do the other ones in full cross or if I'm going to do them in 10 stitch. I haven't decided yet. Okay, next up we have the Empress. And this one I've done a lot since we last spoke. I do have to admit though, so I'm doing this one in 10 stitch and I'm not a big fan of her face. Her face is, kind of looks like a zombie or like a skeleton. And you'll see in a second, I might add some back stitching or change some of the colors. But you always trust the pattern first, do the pattern as is, do all of the surrounding areas, and if you don't like it, then change it. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So I finished all this background, did right here, and then worked my way down to her face and her scepter. So I've done her scepter right here, the aurora around her head, and then her face. So here's her face and her neck. And like I said, you can't see a jaw. It almost looks like she has no jaw at all. The colors of her neck and her mouth and her jaw blend in and he's more white up in here. So yeah, I'm not really too happy about it. But the rest of the pattern is so pretty. I will continue. And I haven't put her in a timeout yet, so. But I will need to change her face. It's definitely not, I'm not liking her face at all. Which is a shame because this pattern is so good. So I'm gonna have to figure something out. Just haven't decided what yet. All right, next up we have the Harry Potter snow globe. Or crystal ball, I guess, maybe? I'm not sure. Threadmain sent this over to me, which was super sweet. She's already gotten all the hat done. I started in the ball. I wasn't brave enough to start with the hat. But I did get a tiny bit of the hat done. So this one, I'm also doing in full cross. And I got part of his eye and mouth done of the hat, but other than that, I've stitched straight around here, just doing part of the inside of the crystal ball. And I'm loving it. It's turning out great. I like stitching on it. The colors are really pretty. I think that definitely helps. And the pattern is super pretty, and I love it. But I am enjoying stitching 10 stitch more than full cross. Like I said, I'm very motivated by progress, so 10 stitch is very fast. All right, a couple more. This is an oldie but a goodie. Monkey and Mouse sent this over to me. This was a gift. We got a watercolor girl right here. And this one I converted over to 10 stitch. I was stitching it full cross and I converted it to 10. I don't think that you can tell. I only had maybe about 100 stitches done in full cross. I started working on her hand. I think if I hold it up like this, you can see some of the full crosses. But when you're back here, you can't tell. So just working on her hand and some of the background, and I'll do right here and then I'll scoot over. There's that one. And I think I have one more before our exciting news. I think. Hopefully. Yes. Okay. Yes. All right. This one is my Pokemon pattern. I've gotten super far in this one. I've been trying to push on it. I love working on it. It's great. So I finished Squirtle. There's our Squirtle. Sorry, lots of hanging threads on this one. So Squirtle looks amazing, but I did, and well, my family pointed it out, actually, I didn't realize it, that this pink spot, all the pink spots on his face are supposed to be bubbles, not pink spots. They're supposed to be a little bit lighter blue than his face. So the family and I decided that we're gonna change that. I don't think it was charted correctly. So we're gonna change this pink spot, and this pink spot to just be a little bit lighter of a blue because they're supposed to be bubbles. But, I mean, he does look pretty good the way he is. You wouldn't see it. This is supposed to be like a cream color, not pink. It's just it has like a red box behind it. Yes, honey. So this is supposed to be like a red square behind it. So that's why it kind of looks more pink than cream color. So I'm still deciding. I think I'm still going to change it to be a light blue. I just don't know if I'm going to stitch directly over it or if I'm going to pick it all out and redo it. But there's that. And then Charmander was next on our list. I started on the background, did his leg, his thigh, and finished his tail. And then I just started on his eye. And then the kids wanted me to work on part of his bulb. So I started stitching some of the bulb right here. All right here. And it's kind of hard to see, so I will show you the back. And so all in all, there's lots of hanging threads. This is what we're at so far. Lots of hanging threads because I stitch and park is basically based off of whatever I'm feeling at the moment. So lots of hanging threads everywhere, but we're doing good on it. It's working up good. All right, and that is it for all of those. Now we have the exciting news. And the exciting news is the traveling pattern is we're finally ready to do the drawing for the traveling pattern. That is my last WIP update. I decided I wanted to work on the traveling pattern first, not only to set which way the stitches go, but that way I was going to do a small section, and then everyone else can do their sections, and then I would finish whatever didn't get finished. So the traveling pattern, if you missed the video, the unboxing video, this is our traveling pattern. It's a watercolor girl. She's amazing. And this is my progress on it so far. I'm just working on the background, the top left corner. Not a ton, maybe maybe 250 stitches or so. Oops. Not too bad. And so in this video, we are going to be doing the drawing. This is the drawing video for the traveling pattern. If you have missed some videos and you're just now joining, the traveling pattern is going to be a pattern that I draw 12 people's names for. We will be sending it to each other in a big circle to stitch on the traveling pattern. You will stitch a selected section. So I'm going to be breaking out the pattern into different sections. You pick a section, you stitch it, you will then stitch your initial on the outside of the pattern. That way when I wash it, it won't be directly on the pattern. That would be very sad. But I want everyone's like initials or whatever you want to put as your signature on the pattern. Then as soon as it comes back to me, I'll finish whatever needs to be finished, wash it, press it, and then we will do a drawing between the 12 people for the finished project. So I hope everyone has so much fun doing this, because I have had so much fun thinking about getting this started. I just had to wait for it to get in, wait for me to have like a calm moment to actually be able to start it, and then be able to get everyone going. So first things first, there is no pressure. If you don't want to do it, you do not have to. If you do want to do it and for some reason something happens or you just don't stitch as much as you want to, that's okay. I will finish whatever doesn't get finished. So it's no big deal. You pick a section and just stitch as much as you want or can. So that is what the traveling pattern is. If you would like to, actually let's go over the rules really fast and then I will tell you how to opt in. So rule number 1, you have to be okay sharing your mailing address with other people, because we will be sending this in a big circle. There's no way I can hide everyone's mailing address, especially if someone else is sending something to you. You're going to see their mailing address. It's just the way it goes. So there's that. 2, you have to be 18 years or older. That's just the way it goes. 3, you have to be able to provide either an email address or an Instagram account so we can communicate back and forth about the traveling pattern. And you have to be willing to have that communication, the open lines of communication about the pattern. So I need to know when you received it, an update picture for when you get done, and then a tracking number for when you send it off to the next person. 3, I think we're on 3. I've lost count. Have to be able to pay for postage. We are going to be sending this internationally. I'm opening up to anyone who wants to join. That's the whole point of a traveling pattern, is we all get to see everyone's different stitching styles. You can tell a lot by the back of a project based off of how someone stitches. If you look at the back of the pattern and the front, it just says a lot. And I thought it'd be super fun. I don't get to travel a ton because I got kids. And so at least the pattern gets to travel. So it's traveling for us, which is super cool. And let's see. You have 4 weeks to stitch on it from the date that you received it. And then you have 4 weeks to stitch on it, and then that 4th week you need to be able to postmark it and send me the tracking information. And last but not least, you have to have fun. This is supposed to be fun. I want it to be fun. I want to send everyone updates and get to talk about it and, see how everything's going and then get it finished and then do a big drawing for anyone who worked on it. I think it's just gonna be so much fun and bring us all even closer together as a community. So that is the traveling pattern. So to opt in for the traveling pattern, in the comments down below, you need to put in the traveling pattern. So the words specifically traveling pattern, I will put that right up here in the video. It doesn't have to be the traveling pattern, it just has to be traveling pattern. So if you want to be opted in for the 12 people drawing, put in the comments traveling pattern. I did do a video previously to see who all would be interested in it, and I got a lot of I'm ins. That was not the opt-in video. That was just to see if I had enough interest to be able to do the traveling pattern. I did have enough interest, and so I'm super excited to announce that this will get started. I am working on my section right now. I will go ahead and announce the winners, the 12 winners, at the end of my next WIP update video, which should be in about 2 or so weeks, 2.5 weeks or so. So that's when the winners will be announced. I will not send you a message saying click this link if you are a winner. I will announce your name on the video, and I will also send you a message to let you know. But if you did not hear your name on the next video, then you did not win, or you were not selected for the traveling pattern. If this goes really good, I'll do another one. You know, I just have to see how this is gonna go, administrative wise, keeping track of it, sending it around, make sure everyone is happy with how it is going. And if all goes well, then I'll start another one and we'll select another pattern and do it all again. But there we go, there's the video finally, after recording it with no mic and then continuing to get her up to with this one, we finally got the video and we finally get to announce the drawing for the traveling pattern. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me, and good luck to everybody who puts their name down below, or the words down below. Yeah, thank you all so much. I hope you all have a fabulous day. Stay safe, stay warm, and take care. Bye.